So I just recently had this brilliant idea to create a stop motion animation film to promote something that I am launching, and I realized that I probably needed to share with you guys how to do this really cool video trick, because I promise from start to finish, once I kind of figured out what I was doing, it only took me about 30 minutes, and now I have this amazing video to promote this amazing thing, and everybody's going to think it's amazing. And yeah, so today I'm going to teach you how to film a stop motion animation video, and then how to take it into Premiere Pro and iMovie, so whichever one you're using, and edit it so it looks like a stop motion animation film. We've all seen those stop motion animation films, right? Like where it looks like something is coming out of an envelope or whatever, but you can tell that there's like hard stops, so it's not like a full fluid video or whatever, and it just creates this like really cool, fun video to watch. Well, I set out to film one of these the other day and realized very quickly that I didn't have a very good way to make my camera face straight down on my stuff. So I'll show you what I did instead. But first and foremost, the things you need to film a stop motion animation film are whatever you're like using as your props in the video. So in my case, it was a box, a background, and some like fun confetti, and the things that I am giving away in a fun giveaway that launches today. But this could be anything. This could be like the ingredients to a recipe, or it could be different notebooks from your line of notebooks you're launching, or it could be a Lego man. Like it could literally be anything, but you need the props that you want to film. And I suggest like a high contrast background of some sort. I had this pink background, but some kind of background where you can obviously tell the objects are moving around on it and things don't blend in. So once you have the props ready, you just want to go ahead and set that up on the floor or on a table or whatever. But for me, it was easier on the floor, and you want to lay it out how you want it to look when you start the stop motion animation film. So how's everything going to look at the beginning? So then what you want to do is find a way to illuminate this scene. So for me, I put it right in front of a window, and I also had two lights shining on it to fill in some shadowy places. So I had a ring light and an umbrella light to fill in kind of shadowy places in it, so it wasn't like super dark on one side and super bright on another. I also had like a white poster board set up behind it where it was reflecting the light coming in through the window on that side. So it was kind of a jankety setup, but it worked. Set your stuff up, make sure it's lit well, and that part is done. Now the next thing you need to do is you need to have a way for your camera to face completely down at your stuff. So generally this is up above. If you're filming something where you can easily get the camera angle you want and it's from the side, then you can completely ignore this step, because you can do stop motion animation regardless of what angle you take. But for me, I wanted this flat lay look, and I wanted the things on the flat lay to move around. So I needed the camera to go like directly above my scene down here. I needed my camera to go directly above it. Well, they do make tripod extensions that's basically like a balancing arm, and you place your camera on that and it holds your camera above your scene. This is really good for like food bloggers or people who shoot flat lays a lot or whatever. I don't have one of those. So I was like, okay, Jessica, how can I make this work? So I set up two chairs that were at the height I needed them, and actually they ended up being a little shorter than I needed them, so I added some boxes and some books to the top of the chairs. But then I set up these chairs, and I found this large box that would like go across both chairs but leave the floor open to where I had the scene. And I was like, oh, this would be perfect. So I cut a circle the exact diameter that the lens of my camera is in the middle of the box and placed it there, and then I set my camera inside the box, lens down, so that it was like completely on top of the scene. And it actually worked really well for me. I could see if you had like woodworking skills or something like that, where you could build a stand and have like the circle in the wooden piece on top, and you just set your camera down in it. It worked super, super, super well. Find a way to get your camera facing down but you need to make sure you are not moving your camera with your hands. There's just too much human error there. So you need your camera to sit still, whether that's on a tripod like this. Like I could totally do a stop motion animation of me like talking and, making weird motions. Or if it's on a tripod and it has the arm and it's shooting down, or if it's on a table, it doesn't matter, but you don't need to be involved in the equation. You don't need to move it. Okay, so that's kind of the setup of what you want to do with your stuff. Now, once you have it ready, you are taking pictures and not video. So remember that. Now, I have a Canon 70D and I can control it in picture mode from my phone or my laptop or whatever. So I actually just left it in the box and controlled the shutter from my phone. So I never had to touch the camera and didn't introduce any like human element or movement into that space. So if you move too much, the background's gonna look like it's moving and you don't want that. Anyway, I did the trigger on my phone. You can use a remote shutter, or you can easily just go and like carefully touch the button as well. Like that's fine. But just know that if you move it any little bit, it's probably going to come across in the video, and we don't want that. Okay, so that's the actual setup. The logistics are that you take a picture with very slight movement in the thing you want to move. Right now you're seeing me like move the light bulb, and then I move my hands and take a picture. And I move the light bulb a little bit more, and I move my hands and take a picture. And I move the light bulb a little bit more, and I move my hands and I take a picture until I get the light bulb where I want it to go. Now you want to go in short motions, because if I moved it straight from like one corner of the frame to another, it's not going to look like a stop motion animation. It's going to look like something glitched. So you want to move it in like tiny little movements and take a ton of pictures along the way. So you do the short motions in whatever form you want it to do. So envision in your mind of like what you want this to look like in the end. For me, I wanted like the camera to come down, and then the notebook, and then the light bulb, and then this and that. And then I wanted it to kind of like move around a little bit when it was there. So I had this vision in my head, so that's what I executed on the layout. So anyway, you take super short movements and take pictures of them. That's all. Making sure that nothing moves in that frame except for the thing you're wanting to look like it's moving, okay? So then after this, you have a collection of a ton of photos, and all you have to do is pull it into your editing software and edit it together to look like a movie. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this in Premiere Pro and iMovie. So let's get started. In Premiere Pro, you just need to be on this basic editing screen to do this, but basically what you'll want to do is you will want to bring in the entire folder of your images so that they're all in there together. So I have this stop motion 2 here, so I'm just going to drag it completely over and let it import into this project. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to hit the little arrow down, and you want to select all of them because they are likely at the wrong speed right now. So right now, if you dragged all of these over, they're probably going to be at like some crazy speed that is not going to work with a stop motion animation. So I'm going to like show you this, and I can't do it with the big screen. So anyway, you'll select them all, you'll right click, and you'll hit speed and duration. Now, you'll see this is like 4 seconds and 29 milliseconds. So what you want to do is you want to change this to like anywhere between all zeros and then a 5, or all zeros and like a 9. So we're going to go with like 08. So this is hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. So this is kind of how long each frame will last. So you hit OK, and now that changed them all. That's why I wanted you to select them all, because now it changed them all, and when you drag them over, it's not a huge deal. So I'm just going to drag over a couple of mine, but you can drag all of yours over, and you'll select the ones you want, and you'll drag them into your editing timeline. Now, if I hit play, this is what it looks like, which is perfect, right? That's exactly what I want it to look like. That time is good for me, and it looks really good. So when I have everything like I want it, what I want to do now is I want to just export this as a movie. So you'll just file and export media and just export it like normal. So you actually just export with your same settings that you normally do. You want an MP4 and you can use maximum render quality if you want, and then just hit export and you're done. Now it will export as a movie file, even though these were all images, because you changed it so that they play back to back like that, which is pretty cool. Okay, if you want to do this in iMovie, it's actually really similar. You'll just start a new project. You will select the images you want to use, and you will drag them over to the media panel. And then you'll just drag them down into that. And then okay, so then with this one though, you have to go into each one and tell it not to do this weird like zooming thing, which is annoying and weird and whatever. But you just need to click on each image and then go to the little crop thing, fit, or let's just crop to fill. And then you can drag them around. Now, you'll want to make sure if you do this, you drag each one to the right, to the same position. Okay, so now that shouldn't zoom as we go through it, but the next one will. So we need to change it. So again, just do crop to fill, go on about your business, do the next one, crop to fill, go on about your business. Now, what you'll notice here is that each one has been drug in a 4-second time frame. We obviously do not want that. We want it to be much, much slower. So you can drag each one down on its own and drag it to whatever time frame you want, maybe like 1/8 of a second or whatever. So you'll have to drag each one down to about the same thing, and then they'll go just like the ones in Premiere did. You can see how this is a little bit of a more annoying process in iMovie if you watch the Premiere part, but it's doable. So you'll just kind of drag each one down there. So anyway, we have done most of the images. You'll notice I didn't take the zooming out of a lot of those, so you'll need to do that. But then you just slow them all down to like 1/8 of a second or 1/5 of a second or something like that. And you'll have your stop motion. So then you'll just file and export just like normal. I cannot wait to see what you create with this new like tool you have in your pocket, because now you can do stop motion animation. They're really easy, guys, I promise. Like you just saw the whole tutorial, like super easy and fun. And if you're wondering why in the world I did this stop motion animation myself, it's because all the stuff you see in that stop motion video, the Canon G7X Mark II, the tripod, the light bulb, the tripods, all of the stuff, I'm giving that and more away to one of you, and I'm so excited. So to enter this giveaway, it just launched today, November 16th, if you're watching this on the day I released it, and then the entrances for the giveaway close on November 26th, 2017. So you can go enter that. I'm putting the link to enter the giveaway below, but it is basically just jessicastansberry.com/giveaway, and you can go enter to win this entire bundle full of $2,000 worth of video equipment and prizes. So we're giving away a Canon G7X Mark II, a set of umbrella lights, a heavy-duty tripod, a GorillaPod, a camera card to go with your camera, a year of Thinkific. So if you are thinking about teaching courses or anything like that, you get an entire year of Thinkific. You know what you also get? You also get an entire year of TubeBuddy, which is one of my favorite YouTube tools ever. So they were so awesome to give me a year to give away to one of you. And then there's also special surprise prizes that go to the winner if they show up live when I announce it. So if you want to enter, what are you still doing here? Go to jessicastansberry.com/giveaway and make sure you hit subscribe, because I have awesome things like this and I like to give you all the things, and it's fun. And if you've created a stop motion animation or you have an idea for one, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, so let me know. Does this shirt make me look homeless? Maybe a little bit. Maybe. It's all right. It's all right though.